What's happening, Twin Lakes? Jim Keithley. Thank you for all those questions that you sent me. We've got over a dozen questions that came in. I'm going to try to answer as many as possible. Certainly can't put them all in one video, so I may put a couple videos out a day, just depending on how busy we are at the golf course. But great questions that came in, very relevant questions. Keep them coming. Doesn't matter what the subject matter is, we'll try to answer them all. So the first question is, my golf swing is too long. Okay, they feel like their backswing gets wrapped around their back. And he says, I feel like I play inconsistent golf, and when he tries to shorten it, he hits the ball better. But what he finds out as the day goes and he gets deeper into the round and he gets tired, he ends up lengthening that backswing in order to produce more power. It's really common. We see it all the time. Let's tackle that question. So the question is, I want to shorten my backswing. I know it's too long. Seems like I play better when I have a shorter backswing. But as I get tired later in the round, I go back to producing the longer backswing in order to produce power, okay? So, you know, we take our leads from a lot of what we see on the PGA Tour, and we see these guys on the tour that have great flexibility and mobility in their shoulders and in their back, and we see that their arms, their left arm gets almost at a 90-degree angle. Now they do that differently than what we would. I can put my arm at a 90-degree angle, okay, but I'd have to have a lot of extension. I'd have to bend my elbows, and I would have to contort my body in a way that's not comfortable and it's not efficient. So, a couple reasons why your backswing goes too far. Actually, there's more reasons. I'm going to tackle two that we see are probably the two most popular reasons that we see on a daily basis. The average golfer isn't very flexible, okay? They get the club to the top and their left arm or their lead arm really moves a long way. It keeps going, and almost points to the sky, but they start to see this collapsing of the elbow, which allows that golf club to go way past parallel, okay? So the first reason is that your lead arm travels too far. Does this and then goes up. Okay, so we want to think about this lead arm, your left arm for right-handed golfers. Flip it if you're left-handed. Think about it staying relatively straight, not bending, staying relatively straight. There can be a little bend, but getting to about a 45-degree angle and then stopping, okay? We don't want it to point to the sky. Get it about right there, and then you're done, okay? You can do this with your phone at home, video yourself. You can get in front of a mirror and try that. First reason, your lead arm travels too far. Second reason, and probably the biggest reason, and really the two work together negatively, is that your elbows separate and your hands stay too close to your body. Let's talk about that tour guy again. If his arm moves to a 90-degree angle, okay, his hand is way far away from his body. We can't do that, right? So if our hand gets like this, or our arms, we start to get some bend. So think about your elbows staying together as long as possible, keeping that idea of somewhat of a relatively straight lead arm, okay? Notice that my elbows haven't separated, they haven't separated, they haven't separated. Here's what happens. You start to do this, you collapse your elbows, and then that allows the club to go way past parallel. Okay, so you would look something like this. Okay, so we don't want any separation of elbows. We talked in earlier videos, we see that all the time. We get separation on this side and separation on this side. We need our hands to be as far away from us on both sides of the body. Okay? Lead arm goes too far, elbows separate. Those are the two reasons. Now let's talk about a couple drills. A drill that I love, something you can do at home. Now that we're stuck inside, get yourself an alignment rod. This is a short alignment rod. It can be the same length that you're used to. Put it underneath your trail elbow. Okay, there it is under my trail elbow. I'm just going to take a 7-iron out. Now, get into a good posture. And now let's get a takeaway going. And at some point, your lead arm will bump up against the alignment rod. Right there. Okay? Once you feel that, you know you're done with your backswing. If you want to rise a little bit to a 45-degree angle, that's okay. But just be done with it. So now all this is creating a feel. This is going to feel like you're real short. Okay? We need you to feel exceptionally short because you're the person that is exceptionally too long. Let's do it again. Boom. There it goes. I feel it on my back of my forearm, and I'm done. Okay? If you want to think about completing a follow through, that's fine. So put yourself an alignment rod underneath your trail elbow, and that gives you some good feeling when that backswing should be complete. Okay? Second drill. We have this Tour Striker ball that we can use. That's what I use on a daily basis. Okay, you shouldn't have one of those at home. If you do, great. If you don't and you want one, we can get you one, but this is just $1 ball from Kroger. Put it between your elbows, grab that same 7-iron. Now this is going to make you feel like you're really connected. Let's think about it. If we moved away and we separated our elbows, like we talked about, that would fall. Brilliant idea of putting a necklace or a tether around this. Now I can do the same drill. I don't have to pick up that ball every time, but I want you to feel like you're keeping your elbows together throughout this swing. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? It starts to fall at some point, but that's late in the backswing. See if you can do it without falling. Okay, you're going to feel a lot of structure, a lot of connectivity. It's going to feel very uncomfortable for you if you were to put some type of plastic ball in between your elbows. Okay, so try those two drills. There's also a wall drill that we can use. I'm going to show you that right now. So the last of the 3 drills is this. It's called a wall drill. We've given you a lot of wall drills in the past. Really good for feel, okay? Creating some different feels, especially when you're inside, okay? So what I've done here, I've got a wall that's just to the left of me, okay? My foot's going to be, you need to experiment with this, and I don't know if you can see my foot, but it's about a foot, 12 inches away from the wall, okay? So I'm not up against it. I'm about a foot away from it. And again, experiment with it. Get into a posture, a nice athletic posture. Take your takeaway. Think about your elbows staying together, not separating, okay? As long as possible. Now we'll start to bend to the top, okay? Now, my club at some point hits that wall. You're obviously done at that point. For those of you that have a really long backswing, you're going to feel like that wall gets in your way very early, okay? It's going to sneak up on you. You're going to be like, oh, there it is. So, posture, good takeaway, get to the top, tap the wall, and then you're done, okay? Great way of feeling something different. wall drill. So there you have it. Hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you're one of those people that have a backswing that's too long, okay, we need to shorten that. You're going to hit more consistent shots more often. And if you do that, we've given you a couple reasons why you may be getting too long, and then some helpful hints and drills on this pursuit of shortening that. While we're inside, we need to work on some real exaggerated feels. You need to feel like you're much shorter as opposed to much too long, okay? Keep the questions coming. I'm really enjoying this. We've got over a dozen coming to you, hopefully a couple a day. We'll see how that goes, but keep them coming. Our next question is all about playing out of the rough and any suggestions on how to get out of the rough, because we know here at Twin Lakes the rough gets really long in the spring, so you can look forward to that. And we don't know when all this is going to be over, hopefully sooner than later, but we do know this: we're one day closer to being on the other side. So keep looking at it that way. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you real soon.